Hi, I'm Lisa Flood with the Mission on the Mountain, and I am so excited to be with a group of amazing college girls today. Would you introduce yourselves?
My name is Gabby Decker. I'm a freshman at Ave Maria University.
I'm Elise Davis. I'm a junior at Franciscan University.
I'm Maddie Coles. I'm a sophomore at Spring Hill College.
I'm Anne Marie Romero, and I just graduated from Belmont Abbey in theology.
Girls, we're so excited that you could join us. There's so much that I know each of you personally, and there's so much that each of you could share. I know that all of you have mentored younger girls. And I'm thinking, if you were talking to one of the girls that you're beginning to mentor, who's in high school, who's like trying to find her way, could you point to a moment where you began to recognize that God is real and that He loves you? Like for each of you, is there a moment or something that happened where you yourself began to see, wow, I think God's trying to get through to me?
For me, I feel like recently it's just been a bunch of little things, especially freshman year in college and COVID and everything happening in 2020. It's been very challenging, but then realizing Jesus is called to be my best friend, especially going somewhere 12 hours away where I don't have my best friends around me all the time. It's been really great just to like see where God's showing me love and like showing me the little things that matter, like just in a breeze on a super hot day, or like the perfect song that relates to what I'm going through, and just like God just being like, I'm here, you're okay, and like I'm with you, and we can do it. And that's just been really great for me this year.
So you're looking for Him and inviting Him in whatever way He wants to show up.
Yes, for sure. I just want to see Him all the time. Wherever He can help me out, I'm good.
And Gabby, you're also an athlete, so you're far away from home, playing your sport that you love, soccer, and trying to find your way.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a challenge just keeping busy while also trying to manage social life and then academically. Obviously, just a lot going on all the time and just adding on to it. But keeping God at the center, or like one of my main focuses, has definitely helped me keep balance between it all. Always having somewhere to go to like an adoration chapel or just a second to sit in my car and listen to praise and worship music has been really good. Especially at Ave, I was in a sacred scripture class, and I was able to talk to my roommates about the little things that would happen in class, and then just hear what they had to say or if they had questions, and then it would start up a good conversation that I never thought that I would have with them.
That's good. Who else?
I think for me, that's kind of a big question and like first encounter with God, but I think I kind of see it in layers. So like in high school, really fell in love with like Jesus, and I don't know, just felt a lot of joy within like a season that there's a lot of family stuff going on that was like hard, and just like recognizing that that God was with me in like those struggles, and like there's like a profound sense of joy that didn't make sense on an earthly level for like the circumstances I was living through. And so I think that really, like, I wouldn't say like there's like one moment, but like that span of time was like really what grew my faith and kind of pushed me into this path of wanting to study theology and go to a Catholic school. And then I'd say like the Catholic school was kind of a rude awakening because it was not exactly what I was expecting, and I think the community life was just very different than I was like used to in Louisiana. But like I felt called there, so I was like, okay, Lord, like you have me here for a reason. And then I think like around sophomore year of college, kind of gifts started like bubbling to the surface that like I didn't even know what they were really, like in our little like Catholic bubble.
You mean spiritual gifts?
Yes, gifts of the Holy Spirit. And I think that, I would say like that was the next layer of just like one, understanding God's love. Like you said, He's like my friend and He's a lover, and it's not like just these rules that I'm supposed to do, but it's like this love that I'm supposed to encounter and like let that bubble over, and just like seeing how He invites us into his job. Like he doesn't need us to heal someone, but we get to do it because he loves us, and it's exciting for us to like take part in his job description almost. And so stuff like that started happening my sophomore year. I love connecting with people. I love being with people. I'm a huge people person, so it was really awesome for like my faith to take on this next level of like being with people, but like getting to encounter people and like do God's job with them almost with people, and just praying over people or getting words. So that was a pretty insane time. And I think now, kind of just finishing college, but still feeling called to that specific community because I'll be living there for a few more months. I think it's just been like a season of like shedding a lot of like old thought processes of like who God, like false ideas of like who God was. But now I think I'm in this like authentic stage. You've even named it as like this like freedom that I've been experiencing, where it's not like I don't know, it's just knowing the Father's heart and living from there and encountering people where they're at, and not needing it to look a certain way or fit this certain mold. Like it's not cookie cutter right now, which is really exciting.
Okay, Anne-Marie, what are you doing? What helped you, or what is helping you experience this freedom and, as you say, know the Father's heart?
Yeah. I think it'd be like not. I think learning the sense of humor that the Father has, and like one of the ways that he laughs at my life and like these things that I'm like, why is this happening, Lord? And he's like, oh, you just gave me a good chuckle. Yeah,
He's got a sense of humor.
yes. And so I think just learning that, yeah, one, he has a sense of humor, so I can have a sense of humor too, and not take myself so seriously or the faith. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. It becomes this huge serious thing, which is like heavy to carry, instead of just like being free. And like, you know, like children laugh in mass, you know, like,
Yeah.
I think I went to mass, one of the first times I went to mass after the pandemic, everyone's wearing their masks, and I think sometimes people put on this like false layer of reverence that looks very serious and super intense. That might be a really crazy thing to say without much more explanation, but only children didn't have to wear masks at mass, which was really interesting. And there was the first mass I went to after quarantine, this kid was just in the front smiling and giggling, and I could tell the parents were freaking out because their kid was having a ruckus. But it was very profound that like that's how we're supposed to be at mass, you know, that's how we're supposed to be with the Father, you know, just like laughing and being silly and joyful. So I think kind of in this season, that's like the part of the Father's heart that I've been encountering, and just like, yeah, I can go hang out with like, there's, I don't know, just for the first half of college, I was so afraid of like being in the wrong place because that's not where you should be as a Christian, or, you know, talking to that crowd because they were doing this thing or whatever, really silly things, and like compartmentalizing the faith. And now I'm just like not as afraid to like meet someone at the pool at my apartment complex. And I think, yeah, this semester our apartment was a space where people could just come, and so many random people came through that door.
Your apartment became a nightclub for Jesus,
Yes.
I think.
But it was wholesome and it was good, and we were being authentic. So, yeah, there was a lot of freedom in that.
For me, whenever I was kind of meeting Jesus in high school and being exposed to him through Catholic school, like religion class, but also through people who were like seeking Jesus, it began for me with like learning that I'm loved by God. And it took several years, and like it's a lifelong process, but it took several years for me to like believe that, really. And like I feel like that's kind of the foundation for having this like intimacy with Jesus. So like bringing that into college, even though I do go to a Catholic college, like so do all of y'all, and like it's not super easy just because it's Catholic in name. So having that like loving relationship with Jesus, like starting there, makes it easier for me to approach like reading scripture and stuff, because I can like read it in Jesus' voice, and like reading Song of Songs and like learning who I am in relation to Jesus like as his bride, it puts me in that perspective to like handle my life kind of, which is by letting him handle it and me just receiving that. And that's super hard for me. But like I know that that is what's right. And so like learning that I'm loved and leaning into that and trying to like live loved like bleeds into all my other friendships and relationships, and like knowing that other people are loved too, and that impacts like how I'm going to treat people and like the thoughts I'm going to think about myself and others and the world, especially right now when there's so much like division. Like love is definitely what is going to bring us all back together. So learning that in high school is really big for me.
So when you say live loved, can you imagine what would happen if everybody would really come to that?
That'd be beautiful.
Is there anything that you can say that really helped you make that jump from, okay, I know this is what everybody says, I'm supposed to believe that God believes about me, to really stepping into it and saying, I really am loved?
Yeah, finding friends that were on the same journey, kind of. Some people it was similar in that it was like faith-based, and some people it was they didn't have really good friends in high school and they knew that they weren't supposed to be treated the way that they were and like really wanted authentic friendship, but maybe didn't even know Jesus, but were still seeking that like belonging, kind of by leaning into Jesus and like being okay, even if I didn't have like a million friends, helped me to like notice the people who did think the way I did and like were looking for the same things that I wanted, which was like authenticity and like abundant life, just like joy that's not based on circumstances. So by not expecting it, I think immediately to have a bunch of like this great community going into college, like leaving a good community, I knew that it was going to be hard. So I didn't have many expectations, I guess, and kind of really wanted to receive and just keep my eyes peeled for that was helpful.
So community's been big.
Yeah, I also had a very good community. Going into my junior year of high school, it's actually Miss Ann Trufant that told me before leaving, because I had a hard sophomore year, lots of like family, like medical issues, and I was so checked out of my own life. I like wanted to go to boarding school. I just like did not care. I was just very into myself and like what I was doing and my friends. I took a summer off, went to camp for 9 weeks, and brought all of that into camp and towards the end, and was like, okay, you need to get new friends. You know, like who you surround yourself with is like who you're gonna be, and took that to heart. I was like, okay, I'm not bringing my old life back with me. Like I'm dropping everyone, which I granted didn't do it in the best way. But so I was like, Lord, like you better show up. Like I need friends. Like I need friends that are gonna lift me up and not drag me down. And he did. My next door neighbor, not next door, around the block. My friend Grace. We both had like similar like camp experiences. And she went to mass every single day. Like we started going to mass before school every day, and I was like, well, she's my only friend, and so that's what I'm gonna do.
Might as well join her.
And so I would go with her every day at 6:15 mass before school, and I knew if I hadn't gone to mass that day, something was different, something was off. And also I was like, okay, Lord, like Grace is great, but I want some more friends. Like so we need this community, and sure enough, like the Lord like provided this huge community, faith-based community. My junior year of high school, like we had a huge group of people going to mass every day. Like it was crazy. And we made like Jesus cool, like in our school, like, and so yeah, that was kind of like the launch pad for me, and like the little moments y'all were saying, like yeah, just going to mass every day and like experiencing something I never. But I knew in the absence of it that there's something missing if I didn't have it.
So you would say you really felt the difference of the power of the Eucharist in your life.
Yes.
Even if you couldn't articulate it at the time, you knew something was different when you didn't have it.
Yes. Yeah. And so going to college, like you said, like the difference between me and you is that I was expecting to have like a great community, at least my first semester at LSU, and it definitely was a lot slower, and I felt like I had to do everything by myself, and I was in it alone. I also like thought I knew the Lord, like which I was experiencing Him, but did I really know Him? I did all the things, but like I didn't know the Lord, and it wasn't until like I found community, I found someone to walk with, like in discipleship, and I first came to know like the Lord in the Eucharist, like as healer, as like many people did when He walked the earth, like they knew Him first as this healer. And so I would go and be like, okay, I don't know what's happening right now, but I know I'm being healed. I knew people knew You as healer, so that's what I'm coming here for. And I know I'm broken, and yeah, I just want to be healed. And it's the same Jesus that rose people from the dead and healed the blind and sick. And
You are all amazing women of faith, and it is such a joy to hear how the Lord is moving in each of your lives. You know, at the Mission on the Mountain, we're going to be praying for all of you, and y'all can keep the fire burning at your own campuses.